Hello, good afternoon. Still, a lot of people are taking lunch, but thanks everyone who all are present here. And thanks to allow me to do this session. Uh, we are uh, we also have had a lunch, and we are also feeling that we should start talking now, as early as possible. So, guys, I have three gentlemen with me, and I would like to say that these three people are, in their own categories, they are innovators. They are the people who are the trendsetters. Some of them have, I will say, making industry from no industry, from lot of domestic consumption to international consumption. So I feel all three are doing iconic job, and all three are trying to create in their category something nobody has built till now. So I will start with Yogesh you. So Yogesh runs around a carpet business, which I think is the second generation or third generation entrepreneur, right? Second generation. And he runs export business of carpet. Also, he has a 10 store in India and 4 stores outside. So Yogesh, tell me about your little story, how a traditional domestic company, you are trying to become a retailer. Already you are exporter, and now you are trying to capture the Indian market as a retailer. Also, what is the consumer behavior in this segment? How it is changing? How it was and what is happening now? Please.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me? Okay. Thank you so much for the introduction. So my business was started by my father in 1978. So we always were manufacturers for carpets for other carpet brands and wholesalers. So till today we sell to carpet stores in over 100 countries around the globe. So if you go to any city, any major city in the world, and you go to a carpet store, invariably you'll find a carpet made by us. So you go to Istanbul or Sydney or London, Tokyo, or Moscow. And in the last 10 years ago, actually, we started the retail journey 9 years ago. When I went to all these stores and I looked at how, people were consuming. And India actually didn't really have many good carpet stores. When I talked to some friends that, we want to start in retailing in India, they said, India mein carpet kaun kharidta hai? There is a lot of dust, बहुत heat hai, and cleaning is not easy and this and that. And that time I realized that also there has to be a lot of education before we start, and also category creation. So, I remember this one incident, if I may take 1 minute, was, there's a very famous architect in India. And I met him and I was telling him, ke, we do these carpets, this and that. So, bolta, Yogesh, I don't use carpets in my projects. So, I said, you do some of the best homes of the country for the richest people. And if you don't use carpets, who will use carpets? So he said, nahi, there is too much problem, this and that. So I told him that next time, whenever they always photograph their project. So I said, whenever next time you're photographing your project, you just ask me to send carpets to put in the home, because the home will look better. So you take a photo and you send the carpets back to me. So this was a huge home in Gujarat. And he asked me to send 60 carpets, and I sent 90 carpets for that home. After sending those 90, 45 never came back, and we invoiced. And he became a fan, saying that, he's missed, and he started to go back to all his clients how important carpets were. So when we started in India, we started to tell people the benefits of carpets and how, even some of the best homes in the country were not using carpets. And, so we said ki ek to technical aspect of the product hai that you have to say, but consumers don't buy because you tell technical aspects. I'm not buying something because technically it's good. So we had to make the product category cool. So we started, the first collection we did in India was with Gauri Khan, which we launched in Paris. So we tried to do a lot of things, where we started to make carpet unusually cool than how it was perceived. And slow and steadily, I think that strategy sort of worked. And, since 2016, we started to put more and more carpets. And today I feel that at least in most good homes that are being built, carpets, ours or anybody else's, are at least being used in the country.
Yeah, Yogesh, I remember I'm doing retailing last 25 years. This is time 25 years back when entered to the shop, we had a carpet and we said remove carpet. Carpet will create a lot of dust and all. And after 20 years, maybe we started putting back the carpet to make store more luxury, more premium. We said put carpet, the store will look more premium, right? So good, Yogesh. So I come to Raghav, you. So you are doing something, some category which is very close to the Indian heart, Indian kitchen. In my home, at least Sundays, 5 tea for sure we make in a day, me and my wife. So my question to you, I know you have reached to 200 store now. You started in 2012 sometime in 200 tea store, Chaayos. A lot of things you sell, but I consider Chaayos tea. So my two questions with you. How you are bringing customer from their kitchen to your place for tea, for a tea lover. In India, I feel there's more tea lover than coffee lover, right? Number one. Number two, what you are giving to consumers something different from your competition, so you are able to do so well.
Got it. No, thank you. So we started in 2012, and at that point of time, we had a very simple problem statement we were trying to solve. India is a chai drinking country. For every cup of coffee, there are 30 cups of chai that are being consumed. And yet, at that point of time, there were 2,000 coffee cafes, and there was no place where you could go outside and have a good cup of chai, sitting down, good ambience, good service. So we felt that people like us deserve to get a good place to people who are chai lovers who don't want to have a cup of coffee. And before we started, we actually asked many potential customers. We conducted a very detailed survey amongst 100 to 200 customers. And we tried to understand from them that what does your ideal chai look like? And out of those 200 surveys, we got 200 different answers. So someone said कि मुझे ज़्यादा दूध वाली चाय ज़्यादा अदरक के साथ चाहिए. So somebody else said मुझे कम इलायची, कम चीनी, कम पत्ती के साथ चाहिए. Right? So we realized that chai in India is very, very personalized. And we realized that if we had to really do justice to chai as a category, so we would have to really crack this Meri wali chai, as we started to call it. Now everybody at that point of time told us that, the QSR model is think very simple, think very limited SKUs, think very scalable. So you should have only the top 5 chais in the menu. Doing different kinds of customization is going to make it very complicated. You will not get consistency, it will not scale. So I think that was something that was a very pivotal call that we took early on, that अगर customer को मेरी वाली चाय चाहिए तो हम अगर customer को मेरी वाली चाय नहीं देंगे ना, there will be somebody who will come in and who will disrupt the market. So we did not want to leave that room. So we've invested into a lot of technology, built our own hardware for this. We've got patented chai robots that basically replicate the process of making chai, just to get that consistent cup of chai every time. Now you asked that very interesting question that chai to ghar pe bhi ban jati hai. You just have to walk to the kitchen and you can make your own cup of chai. For us, delivery business, which is almost 40% of our business today, 80% of that business comes from homes. So, me and my co-founder Nitin, we used to also ask each other, कि यार ये कैसे हो रहा है? Like, what is the reason why people in their own home are willing to wait 20-25 minutes, order a chai, wait for it, rather than go and make it themselves? We realized कि number one, it is very difficult to make a consistent cup of chai even at home. आपको हर बार कितना उबालना है, कितना पानी डालना है. Everybody has their own preferences in the house. 5 लोग होंगे तो 5 अलग type के.
Is it Sunday you get more order?
We get highest orders on Sunday actually.
Because cook doesn't come on Sunday. So either husband has to cook or he has to order. So I order every Sunday tea from Chaayos. Please continue.
Yeah. So delivery has been something that has really picked up. That kind of answers that question that consumers are becoming more lazy. Like we have been made more lazy by Zomato, Swiggy, Blinkit, Zepto, Instamart, right? So I think that's the reality. And getting that consistent cup of chai right every time is very difficult. It's a difficult job. So I think we do good justice to that. Uh, Otherwise, I think on the other thing where we've really differentiated ourselves is the kind of food that we do. So if you remember 20 years back, 15 years back, 10 years back also, most cafes would have a very standard display shelf. They would have the packaged food which would be kept there. उसको ही microwave में डाल के उसको गर्म करके that used to be served. So we took a very different call. We said we are going to have a central kitchen. We will make all our food fresh. So everything, like there is no food which is packed and kept. There's a daily supply that comes in the morning. Like a sandwich which has to be made would have the bread separate, the sauces separate, and the filling separate. We try to keep our product as fresh as possible. So that's something. Food is something where we double down because we understood that chai is a very important part of that food occasion. As in chai occasion, food is a very important part of it. And every part of the country has a different chai associated snack. So we've really done a lot of the work on incorporating those different snacks, be it say podi idli, vada pav, indori poha, matar kulcha, right? So it's like the entire spectrum of everything that can go with a cup of chai.
Good, good. So
And I'm a customer because they're the only ones who make vegan chai.
oh,
So that's I think innovation that you guys have had.
we will discuss more on tea. So I come back to you, Aakash. So Aakash, you are running a category which I felt personally that will go down in 10 years back. I showed when Amazon and all started doing a lot of books. I see everybody ordering books online and all. But I know, I mean, you bought this business from your franchisee partner of the group, and then you bought from them. And from 50 store, today you guys are 126 store. And now I think the Crossword is reaching to Dubai very soon. Am I right? So tell me the consumer behavior, because still I feel that the book shopping nowadays happening online. How you are able to sustain in this market your offline business, and that also profitable, and you are expanding also. So tell me about the consumer behavior a bit on this, how consumer think in it, and tell me also what all you are doing for this business.
So yeah, like you rightly said, ours is a kind of a very unique story where a franchisee takes over the parent company. And if I have to boil it down to one reason, that's the passion to run this category. So a lot of retail formats and categories can only be run by a passionate entrepreneur. It's not really for a corporate setup. So, and I think Bookstores is a classic example of that. So when we kind of took over the brand, we immediately made it profitable. We expanded to 126 stores now, and our first international store will open in Dubai next month. To the question of, there are two questions, right? One is, are people reading books? And are they buying it physically?
Correct.
So to both those questions, the reading habit is actually growing. A lot of people think that, people are not reading, but especially the youngsters are reading a lot more. And if you today listen to any successful person, whether it's Barack Obama or Bill Gates, or an Indian entrepreneur, everybody says kitab padho, right? That if you want to be a good human being, if you want to be successful, you need to read. So I think the young generation is starting to read a lot more. And actually post-COVID, we have seen a kind of boom in physical book reading. And it's world over. So physical bookshops world over are growing. And I think in India, the manifestation of that is Crossword, where we are this legacy brand, 33 years old, but our growth journey has also just started post-COVID. And why physical bookstores? Because yes, you will sometimes buy some books online, but if you're a book lover, you kind of miss that feeling of physical touch and feel, of browsing and stumbling upon a book. Online you can always buy something that you want to buy. Even then, I feel sometimes the experience is, now imagine, what is the experience?
So are you saying, once I am done with what I know, buying online, then I will go offline store and try to see what next I can buy.
Yes. So to discover, you need to do discovery is better offline. But even online, now think of the experience, right? It's the experience is a click, and then there's a cardboard box that comes home. Versus now you imagine walking into a bookstore. You suddenly have the smell of books and coffee, and you bump into a fellow reader. You ask him for some recommendation. You go looking for some genre, and you stumble upon something else. Something else catches your eye. So that whole physical experience, what it does to you, is much more value add than sitting at home and clicking a button and getting a cardboard box at home. So that's the play that we are playing in, which, I mean, experience is a big factor of it.
So,
Yeah.
one small question. So are you seeing a trend increasing to coming to the store? I agree with you. Now new generation is reading more. I have a friend daughter, on New Year she said, Uncle, I have this year a resolution to study 52 weeks, 52 books. So every week one book. And she was hardly 10 years girl. So I was surprised a little bit. Yes, I agree. The new generation.
Yes, so our data tells us 100% people are reading more. And my hypothesis is that as the world is getting more digital, we're all going to want digital detox. How much time are we going to spend with our devices, with technology? So a book and a bookstore allows you to kind of, even if it's just for an hour, escape to that world which we all really need and we enjoy, right? So, and that's where I think Crossword will play a role. And to your second question, which you asked in the beginning, how have we made it profitable? So I think being profitable in retail is just pure economics and sound finance, right? You need to have a good finance strategy. And for us, what we've realized is you need to have attention to detail. So that's something that is core to our way of running a business, is that we are very detail oriented in every aspect of the business. And I think once you do that, then you can be very profitable.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I would want to add, I think the kind of work that Aakash and team have done with the partnerships they've done with multiple cafes, you know, creating that entire space, the kind of category expansion that you've done.
Our partnership is pending.
Yeah, it is pending. But I think that's created that kind of a space away from home where people can find their comfortable spot, they can spend time. So I think that is something that it's not just a place where you go and shop, but it's a place where you can spend time.
So Yogesh, I come back to you. Do you think that opportunity in India, domestic market, export, I know a lot of export happening and all, whole UP, the resistant UP, the whole city is making carpets and all. Do you think still Indian consumer need to learn more about this category? So what is your plan to teach Indian consumer about your category? And how you are thinking you can expand more retail business in your category with your brand?
So overall, I think the Indian consumer is quite underserved, right? So when we started also, we realized that either there were these Kashmiri shops to go to, or you had random places, or you go to furniture stores where there was no choice. So we realized that Indians consumers, I remember my friends coming or saying कि ऐसे भी carpet होते हैं क्या, इतने सुंदर भी होते हैं, अरे ये भी carpet है क्या, इसको floor पे लगाते हैं, दीवार पे लगा, like questions that you would be very surprised, but because you're in the carpet business, so we realized that we really had to educate. And how can you educate? One was obviously by partnering up with a lot of good media. So all the magazines and media that was related to home and interiors, we partnered with them to constantly come up with new ideas, new collections. Then we partnered with a lot of designers globally. So we said, okay, we want to, how do you look at carpet differently, right? So one is how do you change the shape? Now, how do you take carpet as an art? So how do you put it on the wall? How do you put carpet on a ceiling? So we did a lot of very interesting installations. Also designed carpets very differently. So just, the word that we wanted to use was cool. Like, how do you make the category, like for the people to buy it, for the people to talk about it, how do you make it cool? So we started to do a lot of initiatives around making it cool. Obviously, a lot of our marketing revolves around the viewers. So we have about 40,000 artisans, 90% of them being women working from their homes. And we do a lot of storytelling. So we have this collection called Man Chaha, where we give freedom to the artisans to make whatever they want, right? So when we started to make these carpets, they're all random carpets. So, we have carpets where they're making monkeys with guns or they're writing their husband's phone numbers in the carpets, drawing art, to putting something from their homes. And we started to tell the story. Now, when we started to tell the story, the consumers who were buying these carpets started to tell it to their friends. And suddenly, it was you come into my home and I tell you that ये carpet मंजू देवी ने बनाया है और ये मंजू देवी इस गांव से आती है and this carpet में देखो इसने यहाँ पे शक्करपारा बनाया है because that is what she was eating at Diwali and this happened. So that conversation happened. And I think the best form of education is not just a brand shouting, saying that, ये खरीदो ये अच्छा है या ये होता है, is actually empowering your consumer to talk about the product and empower them enough so that they can become the teachers of the product. So that is what we aspire and we try to do.
And it looked more real when you talk about that Manjeet Devi has made this. I think it's look more closer to the person and I think it tells some story also.
Absolutely. Storytelling is a huge part. I think storytelling is the best form of education.
Yeah.
Because
Do you think digitally you can do something in this business? Like suppose on your portal, if customer can put the wall color or the size of the room, you can prescribe and give them the 10 different options. Look, with your wall color or with your sofa's color, this kind of things can go. Do you think this kind of some digital things you should do or you are doing something?
we've experimented with some sort of failed at the beginning, but you're absolutely right, bang on. I think it's something that we need to do. I mean, right now on my website, you can take a photo of the space and try any of the carpets. So we give that feature, but going ahead and being able to customize and being able to suggest if the flooring is black and the walls are green, what kind of carpet would fit in
I think it will be a great idea because as a consumer, I have a very difficulty to select a color and what good size should be there. I know my room size, but I don't know it should be half size, 75% of the room, 50% of the room. So I think something like that can be useful.
Absolutely agreed. Absolutely.
So I come back to my interesting topic, tea. I'm a tea lover guy. So one question, Raghav, maybe I'm right or wrong. So do you think, I'm just assuming, that earlier I remember when 2007-8, when I used to travel South India, there were every 1 kilometer there was a coffee chain. And every meeting I used to do in a coffee chain. A lot of retail expansion I have done sitting in those coffee chain with the landlords. And then suddenly I found that I can do the same meetings with my favorite tea. I don't like coffee, I like tea. So do you think, because I feel 60-70% India like tea than coffee, maybe I'm wrong. But do you think this is helping this industry? That yes, so I feel I don't go to take tea outside, I prefer home tea. But if I'm doing meeting and I'm doing with my favorite अपनी वाली चाय, whatever you said, ना, है ना, मेरी वाली चाय के साथ, तो वो ज़्यादा मज़ा आएगा, ज़्यादा अच्छा होगा. Do you think this kind of consumer thinking is helping?
Yeah, of course. And I think if you want to go outside of home, you want to do a meeting, you want to spend time with friends and family, these are the multiple options that are available to you that are solving for that job. And I think that is where I don't think inherently somebody is a chai consumer or a coffee consumer or a bubble tea consumer. Everyone has their points of time, has their preferences that अच्छा ठीक है शाम का टाइम हुआ है 4 बजे हैं let's have a chai and samosa. और सुबह का टाइम है यार काम करना है तो let's have an americano. So there are multiple jobs that are there, and I think chai is more around relaxation, bonding. That is a feeling around chai. Coffee is more around work, focus, and it's not a competition that नहीं ये coffee brand है, and अगर like generally what happens is that if say a Blue Tokai or a Third Wave or a Starbucks were to open next to us, दोनों का business बढ़ता है. So it is not that it cannibalizes that, but it just ends up being that say if there's a group of 5 people, 4 want to have a chai, 1 wants to have a coffee, and then they would end up coming there and hanging out at one of the places.
So, what is the age? Do you capture age, or what is the age?
We don't capture age, but we have a sense of it.
You have a sense of it. Do you think the young customer, young generation you are able to attract in your stores, or is it?
Yeah, so our core customer would be somewhere between 25 to 35, but then uske plus में भी uske minus में भी people end up coming. For example, we just launched some matcha beverages, and that's very trending with the youth now. So we are seeing, even on our social, we end up seeing people sharing stories, and these are typically younger customers, and much more stories around matcha than there are around other products. So I think there is excitement around some categories. We want to be that place. We are not only about chai. We are that place that you can come, relax, you can be yourself, you can hang out with your friends and family. So the modern Indian customer is not limited to कि नहीं चाय के साथ ना पकौड़े ही जाएंगे. चाय के साथ avocado toast भी जा सकता है. चाय के साथ एक पराठा भी जा सकता है, right? So मतलब there is a lot of products that we are also bringing in which cater to the younger customers.
आकाश, book के साथ भी चाय जा सकता है.
Definitely.
Book and tea can go together also.
अभी हम बैठने वाले और एक डील करने वाले हैं.
So I think you should make a lounge where people can go sit from away from home. They can sit 2 hours, have a tea, and read book.
So we are actually doing a lot of that. We're doing it with coffee, with tea, and this trend is also growing, right? And I think coffee and tea and books just go so well together, and we're doing it in more and more stores. Of course, the smaller format stores, with the high rentals that India has, it's very difficult to get spaces for cafes within the bookstore. But we're trying to innovate with small carts and kiosks where you can get some beverage even in a small format bookstore. But yes, that's very much part of the experience.
I think a big residential complexes, they give you very small peanut rate, they give you space. You can create this kind of lounge. People like us want to get away from home for 2-3 hours on weekend. Alone can sit and take tea and book both.
Definitely, I agree.
So tell me, last question to you, to be honest, then I will ask if somebody want to question. So what is the future of this business, the Crossword or the bookstore? Still, it's very strongly in my mind that books are online available more than offline.
So I believe, of course, I may come from a little bit of a bias, but I definitely believe that books are here to stay. Now in the world, there are a lot of scientists and doctors who proved it that when somebody reads a book in the physical form, something happens in the brain and they just become better human beings. Because you're relating with characters. Once you're relating with characters, you have empathy. So I think more and more parents and academics is going to recommend that the importance of reading books. So I don't think book reading, especially in the physical form, will go anywhere. And like I told you that I think as the world gets more and more digital, I think there's going to be a big opportunity to go to this kind of space, which is like you mentioned, a third space, right? Where you can go and just kind of detox.
Also, I think, Aakash, you are redefining this business. It's not only you are selling books. So I told you, Sunday I was in your store near my house. So I was going in a birthday party. So I bought a wine bottle, and then the packet which I have to keep, I bought from your store. So you are redefining this business. Not only books, you are selling a lot of things, and a lot of things which is very, when you enter the store, you are doing impulse buy.
So we do sell stationery, toys, gifts, and that's about 35% of our business. But I think books will remain our core focus, and we'll sell some related products around it.
So good. Thank you so much, everybody, for all your giving us the knowledge about your category and information. Anybody wants to ask if any question?
I got one idea from him, when he's when you're selling the rugs to the architects, you're going to send them some books as well because books also look good in a new house. So people
Yes.
want books as decoration right now, to fill up their houses. So I think we should collaborate on that. Yeah.
So buy 50,000 of carpet and get 10 books free. Thank you so much. Thank you.